Well, hello there and welcome. You know that great scene from Seinfeld where Jerry and Elaine are in the car rental dealership fighting with the customer representative over what it means to actually have a reservation? And Jerry says, it's one thing to take the reservation, it's another thing to actually hold the reservation. And if you think about it, it's the holding part of the reservation that's the most important part of the reservation. Well, as it turns out, marketing's approach to first-party data acquisition, it's similar. Gartner has new research out this week that says it's not about policies that actually guide first-party data acquisition, it's the designed experiences that actually capture the first-party data. And if you think about it, that's the most important part of the first-party data acquisition strategy. As Jerry himself might say, well, what's the deal with that? Well, this is 5 minutes of what you need to lead in marketing. Let's roll. Hello everybody, Robert Rose here with the news. It is what's new, but more importantly, you know it, it's what's important in the world of marketing and content. And for the best and best practices, you can head on over to contentmarketinginstitute.com. So this last week, research firm Gartner released a survey that concludes in a headline that even ChatGPT could predict. Hey, 60% of marketing leaders believe that collecting customer data while balancing privacy and customer value, it will be more challenging in 2023. Now, while that's the story they go on to discuss, I actually think the more interesting story might be to talk with the 40% who think that it actually won't be more difficult as we move through 2023. What are these people doing that we don't know about? In any event, the research, which was done at the end of last year, reports that 85% of marketers they spoke with have implemented a formal policy to manage customer data and privacy. Further, Gartner says that 42% of the respondents are actively executing one-to-one personalized messages to customers, and 82% say that prioritizing first-party data to create immediate value for customers is a priority. But as they also say, privacy remains the ongoing challenge for these businesses. Now, one interesting statistic that makes me go, is that Gartner found that 78% of marketing leaders empower their customers to manage their own data. Now, if that's truly customers, I think I believe it. And it wouldn't make me feel too badly about where we all are with our customer data management processes. But is that marketing's decision? Is that really more about customer service or account services? In other words, do we believe that 78% of marketing organizations allow prospective customers leads, opportunities, or audiences, pre-purchase of anything to manage their own data? Well, I don't need a survey to tell me that that's a big nope right now. I mean, even Gartner doesn't allow me to manage how they use my email address and private data that they use for sending me awesome news about the awesomeness of Gartner's awesomeness. Anyway, the one slightly provocative finding that's really worth a second take here in this research is that Gartner suggests that actually decreasing the number of channels to acquire first-party data to make them more streamlined is not the optimal strategy. Instead, they say against conventional wisdom, almost half of organizations that manage 11 or more owned marketing channels have increased their first-party data collection compared to just over a quarter with 10 or fewer channels. Companies with more channels are also likely to be driving growth through new digital content experiences. So, what's our take here at CMI? Well, for us, this is a less provocative finding. We find, maybe albeit without the superpowered survey that Gartner wielded here, that clients are actively designing and managing niche digital experiences targeted to specific audiences at specific parts of their journey. Well, they're capturing just the amount of data that they need at that stage. They're getting much bigger bang for their buck on their investment into first-party acquisition. In other words, that wonderful blog that acts as access to thought leadership assets, we don't need your name and title and buying power statistics just yet. We just need to survey your intent. Why do you want this asset? Why do you find this article valuable to you? That gives us all the first-party intent data we need to then serve up the next best experience that might ask for more information, and at some point, getting the personally identifiable information that we need to actually make contact. However, this all assumes that your digital experiences are connected in a way that combines them in an ability to see all that first-party data, all those attributes of your audiences, and build them over time. So it makes perfect sense that more experiences asking for less data at any one of them in a clear value exchange makes total sense. That's your case for infusing great, valuable content into every digital experience and having the ability to only ask for the data that you need when you need it. And that's the key, to designing a privacy policy as well. Designing a privacy policy is important. Understanding what the rules of that privacy policy are and how you make data accessible to customers is important. But it's designing and managing the acquisition of that data through these content experiences that defines that privacy policy. That's the most important part of the first-party data acquisition strategy. That's not a legal challenge. That's not an IT challenge. That's a content and marketing challenge. At the end of the research, Gartner quotes one of its senior director analysts to say, data privacy is an issue that isn't going away, and it's imperative to digital marketing leaders to build strategies that will secure the data they need while keeping the needs of customers front and center. Now, I don't disagree with that, but I would turn it on its head slightly. If we deliver better designed content that prioritizes the needs of the customer, our needs to capture all the data at one time, then stricter notions of privacy become less of an issue because you're building more of an obvious exchange of value. In other words, if a customer understands why they are giving you data in exchange for valuable experiences, they worry much less about how you might utilize it. In other words, if you consistently hold the reservation, the customer will worry much less about trusting you when you actually take it. And that's it. That's 5 minutes of what's new that hopefully you can use to lead your marketing strategy. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Where are you in your first-party data acquisition? And until I see you next week, remember, I'm Robert Rose. Remember, it's your story. Tell it well. I'll see you next week.